Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VALORANT Champions 2024. For this occasion, I have with me JoshRT. You guys already know him at this point. Coach of G2, coming off another victory this time over PRX in the opening match of their group stage run. And so, Josh, another W, another interview after a W. Kind of feels like every time I talk to you, it just comes after a W. So, at this point, am I your good luck charm?
Of course. It's always good to hear your voice after a win. It's always good to have an interview.
All right, for sure. Yeah, and that said, going off of this series first and foremost, taking down PRX. I mean, obviously, give you that obviously how you're feeling after taking down the team like that, and in addition to that, given the fact that plenty of talk was done around this encounter, this rematch between both of you guys and them. Um, how are you guys able to just come out on top over them?
Well, it's again, it comes with the mindset of like how we want to approach a team like this. Um, yeah, we beat them before, but there's no guarantee that will happen again. And that's how it is with every rematch, I would say. And the way I've been coaching my team is just, hey, expect them to be better. And they did come out a bit better. I always thought that all they had to do is fix um, get some discipline in some of their games so that they can take and keep the advantages that they would grab from the W gaming style. And then it did show. So like I anticipated that. I anticipate that they were going to be a lot better this time around. And it's just keeping my players on their toes to just keep a healthy respect of the game and be humble in that approach. Because it's really easy for any team that wins to be like, yeah, we can beat them again, you know. But as someone that's like rational, looking at the game, like, well, what if they took this round and that round? It'll be a much different game. And even in this the last half of Lotus, I saw the game slipping away from us a little bit. So call attack, readjusted, reminded them, and they were able to close it out.
Yeah, for sure. Your words about the teams, them being PRX's discipline is the something that you echoed in one of the mid game interviews you did with Mika Fabs, and so that said, sticking on to that, I was going to ask you about how you kind of compare PRX from back then, as in Shanghai, to now. On top of just the discipline, what do you think, or what was the other aspects that changed the most from your point of view regarding PRX?
I thought they improved in the macro. Before, like it was very simple, and some might say like it's still somewhat simple, but they have a lot of strengths with like how strong it is in that simplicity. They're able to add multiple elements to their game, and I saw that in the VODs. To be fair, they did have that before as well. It's just about like whether or not they can pull it off or show it to us. And so, like I knew they had these tools, and they were showing it. They were able to take away a few rounds here and there based on those tools. So, um, to answer your question, like I forgot, like they were good. They were good, and I feel like we just prepared it better.
And for sure, you obviously came out as the better team. And that said, you mentioned a little bit about issues. What do you think was the biggest issue that the PRX threw upon you guys for this encounter?
Without going into too much detail, in case like there's another rematch and they can press on that.
Hmm.
There's always like different speeds to what they do, and making sure like we just identify like what they're doing and countering it. And if the pressure's high, the stakes are high, we may not have like the vision to see it. I would say the last half of Lotus was something like that, and it's just about keeping the poise and just understanding what we're seeing.
Hmm. I want to ask you about how the team kind of been improving the map pool, and obviously an example of that is Icebox. Back then, you guys were able to take down Leviathan, and then, but also lost to teams such as Heretics back in Shanghai, Cloud9, and VCT Americas, stuff of that nature. So that said, how have you guys been kind of working around that aspect to be at a position where you can kind of play any map? Because of course, one part about that topic is you guys obviously banned. Let me check. Sunset, because obviously PRX is their strongest map. So how you guys been kind of working around the map pools aspect?
Yeah, we want to be able to play every map to a high level, so that the opponents don't have like a really easy choice what to pick against us. Um, the perception was that like our icebox wasn't as strong, so like I kind of anticipated that, and sure enough, like I think Forsaken's brother was on T1 Excurate, and they're the ones that ran it down at A 12 rounds in a row. So like we learned our lessons there.
Not for sure. Yeah, sticking on to that, just sort of Shanghai, focusing on the international stage, given the fact that you guys were able to finish third. What were some takeaways that you saw from that experience that you felt had to be addressed for this go around? Because of course, Champions is the end all be all for this year, and so takeaways from Shanghai for this event.
I mean, the main thing was, I mean, besides like the strategic and tactical aspects of the game, I would say anticipating adversity in other elements or outside of the game. Actually, there was some factors into the final weekend at the Mercedes-Benz Arena that were out of our control. We didn't really anticipate, or we couldn't anticipate, and the players were a little bit out of their element, like a couple of them. So um, going into this, like, okay, we'll prepare better, but also let's make sure, like, no matter what the situation is, we can play through it, whether it be like different gear or like somebody forgot something or whatever, like whatever mishap that we go through, it's fine. We can get over it. We can get, it's just, it's in the past and we get over it quickly. And that's something that like we've been working on. Been getting, uh, my players to go through performance coach sessions, um, just to keep that up to date, and it's it's working out. Like one of our players dropped something, it dropped a one of a mouse dongle, and we had to make a quick replacement. It was a different mouse, same mouse, but like different skates and all that, and like it wasn't even a problem for him. So like we're showing improvements in those aspects as well.
Yeah, and that said, now moving over to just moving on from VCT Americas and to now. Obviously, I talked to you back in LA for during the playoffs, and you know the gap between that point and now was less than 3 weeks, and not even 2 weeks, because maybe like 1 week, because you guys have to take care of the travel and getting acclimated to Korea. How have you guys been able to transitioning from LA to over here? And do you guys feel like now you are 100%, ready to go?
I wouldn't say we're 100%. I think it takes a couple days or 1 day to adjust an hour, something like that, like the math, some things like that. So we're still sleeping a little bit erratically, but I think we're like 90% there. I think we're good. But at the same time, like I've been telling my players, like every team suffers from this. Every team has to travel and go through this. That's besides like the domestic teams, but like every international team, every national event will be something like this. So again, it's just taking it to the chin and just understand like we all have problems and we'll just solve it.
Mhm. As I said, G2 pull off a very impressive showing in Shanghai. Now the onus is to kind of repeat that, but also obviously surpass that and hopefully win the whole thing. That said, w- that said, how do you kind of look at the team's current form from reaching, or in regards to the gap between where you guys are right now to where you guys want to be? Where do you kind of see that gap?
Um, that one's tough to say. I feel like there's always room to grow, no matter what. Even the game like this where we cleanly 2-0'd in the scoreline, it could have been better. There's also like moments of indecisiveness that we can be more decisive, and now we'll like I'll VOD review and like, hey, we can make these decisions quicker, and these are the correct ones or the less correct ones, whatever. Form wise, like I mean, the players are playing. They were super sharp today. All five players were hitting on all cylinders. It was amazing to watch. I I hope that we continue to do this.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, one more question before I wrap it up. More so now towards the next opponent, winner of EDG or Foot. Um, Impressions on those two, and also what do you kind of where do you kind of see the team, your team's current form against the rest of the other top squads that are taking part in this competition, i.e., Genji, Leviathan, and yeah, those kinds of teams. Where do you kind of see that?
It's hard to tell. I mean, like we go into every match thinking like just don't know what form we'll be in and what form they'll be in, and it's just about like preparing and playing, anticipating and playing to the best way possible. I would say like we have the ability to win this event for sure. We have the ability to beat every team, but we also can't underestimate any team because they also have that ability to beat us. It's a game like that where the variance is pretty high at moments. And and performance is always like a variance too. Like people can play their C game and we might face EDG or Foot's A game and they'll demolish us. So we just have to take care of business basically, make sure we control the controllables and um, let the results surprise us.
For sure, wise words from the reigning VCT America's head coach of the year. A title as well deserved. So, JoshRT, thank you so much for giving me another interview. And that's it. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
All right, thanks so much.